case now.
Jeremy C. Lotto.
I, Jeremy C.
Attorney Lotto, please remain standing as the clerk of court administers the oath. This is for prosecution. Second witness is concerned. Clerk of court, sir, next. Please raise your right hand. You, Jeremy C. Lotto,
I, Jeremy C.
do swear that the evidence you shall give
To the evidence I will be giving
in the case now pending
in the case now pending
between the Philippines and Government Duterte
between the Philippines and Vice President Sara Zimmerman
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me. Witness counsel by the prosecutors.
Attorney Lotto, you mentioned down.
Mga ano yun, mga bagito pa, no?
Bagito, hindi ba ganito mga technique?
Your Honors,
Ito ano
the
to?
testimony of our second witness,
Sa UP.
Attorney Jeremy C. Lotto, is offered to prove
So makamlaw
the following. Number one, Jeremy Lotto is a lawyer by profession,
ni Andres Carbasa.
and he was the chief of the Cybercrime Division of the National Bureau of Investigation, NBI, in 2024. Pangalawa, kasama siya sa investigasyon sa may isang 23 taong 2024 kung saan dineklara ng Vice Presidente na siya ay kumontrata na ng isang tao para patayin ang Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, ang unang ginang at dating Speaker ng House of Representatives. Pangatlo, napag-alaman ng NBI na ang mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente ay seryoso at totoo.
Kailan ibabalik ko?
Matapos silang isaalang-alang ang mga sumusunod. Una, the manner of the respondent's delivery of the statement that she intended her remarks to be real and serious threats. She was not merely joking when she uttered those threats. Pangalawa, mga kababayan, even before that fateful press conference on November 23, 2024, ang press conference na yan, may nakontrata ng mamamatay tao yung Vice Presidente. Bago pa man ang press conference na yan. Pangatlo, ang utos ng Vice Presidente sa assassin na huwag siyang titigil hanggat hindi napapatay ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas, ang unang ginang at ang Speaker ng House of Representatives ay nagpapakita na ang Vice Presidente ay determinado at porsigido sa kanyang pagbabanta. Number 4, the result of the investigation and after determining that the respondent's threats are serious and real, led the NBI to file claims for 3 counts of rape threats and 1 count of inciting to sedition. Number 5, this witness, Attorney Lotto, will identify and authenticate the affidavit of investigation, the annexes, as well as a couple of videos in relation to the NBI's investigation. And number 6 offer, he will also testify such other matters as are relevant and material to the impeachment of the President. Ready for comment, Your Honor, please.
Counsel for the respondent, Attorney Lotto.
Subject is from zero. Thank you so much.
Counsel for the prosecutor, may proceed.
Daghang salamat, Mr. Presiding Officer, Honorable Judges, Attorney Lotto, maupay nga pulong kaibo. Waray-waray po. We are both waray-waray. Same time siguro. Attorney Lotto, kung pwede bang mas malapit ko sa microphone para marinig ng isang bayanan lahat ng isasagot ko sa mga tanong ko.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Lotto, kindly state your name, edad, and other personal circumstances.
I am Attorney Jeremy Silotto, 50 years of age, and currently the Regional Director of the NBI Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, Mindanao. Sir?
Sinabi mo ikaw ay isang abogado, Attorney Lotto, di ba?
Opo.
Now, yung tanong kailan ka naging member ng ating Philippine Bar?
I was admitted to the Philippine Bar by the Lawyer School in 2013. Sir.
2013. Now, Mr. Lotto, ano ba yung current position mo, occupation mo, kung meron man?
The Regional Director of the NBI Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Mindanao.
Ano yun, ikaw ay isang NBI Regional Director for Bar. Now, yung tanong is, how long have you been?
I've been in the NBI for the past 12 years.
12 years, no? Tanong is, I think, based on my counting, that would be since 2014, ba? Now, kailan ba na-designate as the NBI Regional Director ng Bar?
I was designated in January this year as Regional Director of the NBI.
January 2026. Now, prior to your designation as the NBI Regional Director for BARM, ano ba yung previous position mo within NBI?
I was the Regional Director for Region 4B, Limaropas.
July 2025, you became, okay now, prior to your designation as NBI
Gala sa may harap lang na
Regional
Lasal.
Director for Mimaropa, what was your previous position?
Gala, harap lang kami ng Lasal.
Nasal.
Diyan sa bitok, bago magbitokos lang. Masakay
Chief
sandal.
ng NBI Cybercrime Division. Now, kailan ka designate as Chief ng NBI Cybercrime Division?
I was designated in February 2023.
2023. Now, sinabi mo ikaw ay naging Chief ng NBI Cybercrime Division. Now, yung tanong, Mr. Attorney Lotto, is what were your primary duties and functions bilang hepe ng NBI Cybercrime Division?
Diyan lang sa may ano.
Primary duties, among others, plan, direct, supervise the investigation of cybercrime cases pursuant to Republic Act 11705 and other relevant laws. And part of my duties and responsibilities is to investigate high-profile cases pursuant to Republic Act 10867, specifically crimes committed by, through and with the use of information and communication technology. Sir.
Now, Mr. Witness, of course, you are aware na ikaw ay tumitestigo sa impeachment trial ng respondent. Now, yung tanong is, kilala mo ba yung respondent sa kasong ito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, yung tanong now is, why do you know her?
She is the incumbent Vice President of the Philippines, and she is the subject of the investigation by the NBI Cybercrime Division, Your Honor.
So, nasabi mo, she is the subject of an investigation ng NBI Cybercrime Division. Now, yung tanong, Attorney Lotto, is kailan ba? Kailan nagsimula yung investigation ng NBI Cybercrime Division on the respondent?
November 23, 2024, sir.
November 23, 2024. Yung tanong now, Attorney Lotto, is why? Why did the Cybercrime Division commence an investigation on the Vice President?
We were directed by the then Director General to conduct an investigation with regard to a certain video involving an online press conference held on November 23, 2024, where the Vice President uttered that she had already contracted a person to kill the President, Lisa Marcos, and the former Speaker of the House, sir.
Now, yung tanong, Attorney Lotok, is sa pagkakaalam mo, kung alam mo, ba't yung NBI, yung inatasang gumawa ng investigasyon na ito?
Well, under the law, specifically Republic Act 10867, the NBI has primary jurisdiction to undertake investigations on cases, among others, cases involving threats to security and assault against the persons of the highest officials, sir.
So, threats or assaults on or against highest officials, sabi mo, di ba? Now, yung tanong, Attorney Lotok, is sino ba yung mga highest officials na kung may threat or may assault sa kanila, NBI has to do it, an investigation? Sino yung mga officials na ito?
Yes, Your Honor, they are the President, the Vice President, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, sir.
Alright, now, so you mentioned Presidente, Vice President, tsaka yung iba pa. Now, you mentioned, Attorney Lotok, that the NBI conducted an investigation on the respondents' statements during an online media briefing on November 23, 2024. Yung tanong na, Attorney Lotok, is what exactly did the respondent say on that day that resulted to the investigation?
On that online press conference held on November 23, 2024, the Vice President uttered the following. Huwag kang mag-alala, ma'am, sa security ko sapagkat may kinausap na akong tao. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, pag pinatay ako, patayin mo si BBM, si Lisa Marcos, si Martin Romualdez. No joke, no joke. Nagbilin na ako, ma'am. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, pag namatay ako, huwag kang tumigil hanggat hindi mo sila mapapatay. And he said yes.
Now, Attorney Lotok, no, yun yung statement. No? Now, sino ba yung mga membro ng investigation team na galing sa division mo, yung cybercrime division?
We have Attorney Van Angluven, the then Executive Officer for Operations ng Cybercrime Division, Attorney Vanessa Asuncion, the Executive Officer for Administration back then, John Mark Calilong, the agent on case, and myself, Your Honor.
You mentioned Agent John Mark Calilong.
Yes, Your Honor.
The same person who testified before you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, how did your division commence the investigation?
I instructed the team, specifically Agent Calilong, that for this particular case, we have to follow the 5 phases or stages of cybercrime investigation, sir.
So you instructed John Mark Calilong to follow 4 stages of the investigation?
The team and John Mark Calilong, sir.
Now, you mentioned, Attorney Lotok, yung 4 stages ng cybercrime division for the information ng ating honorable judges sa kanyang publiko. This is the question now. Ano ba yung 4 stages ng investigation na ito?
Yeah, Your Honor. For that particular case, first, the identification and preservation of the digital evidence, the collection and hashing of that same digital evidence. That's the second phase. The analysis and attribution phase, the third one, and then the legal evaluation and case filing as the final phase, sir.
So these are the 4 stages. Now, if you know, what was Agent Calilong's response and if any, sa naging instruction mo sa kanya na sundin yung 4 stages ng cybercrime investigation?
Well, he said yes, and then he proceeded to identify. He proceeded to identify and preserve.
Sorry, continue.
Identify and preserve the digital evidence in question, sir.
Now, you said and that you instructed Agent Calilong to identify and preserve. Na-mention mo, digital evidence. Yung tanong now is, what is this evidence that you are referring to?
It refers to a certain video, Your Honor, involving an online press conference held on November 23, 2024, which was streamed through the Facebook page of one attorney Herminio Lopez Roque Jr. or Harry Roque, Your Honor.
So it was the Facebook page of Harry Roque who live streamed the video.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Witness, after Agent Calilong identified and preserved yung sinasabi mong video, which you said is the first stage of the investigation, ano yung nangyari after that, kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo?
Yes, Your Honor. The agent in case proceeded to collect that digital evidence and generated high value on that digital evidence, and at the same time stored that in a data carrier, Your Honor.
Alam mo, Attorney Lotok, this is the first time na narinig natin yung term na hash value. And I think it's just proper na yung next question ko para malaman ng publiko. Attorney Lotok, ano ba yung hash value na yan?
Well, under the implementing rules and regulation of Republic Act 10175 or the Reorganization and Modernization Act of NBI, hash value refers to mathematical algorithm applied to the information like the file, the physical disk, or the logical disk, in this case, digital evidence, thereby creating a digital fingerprint or DNA for that information or digital evidence, Your Honor.
So to create a fingerprint for the video, is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, the video.
All right, now, Mr. Witness, after the identification, preservation, collection, and hashing, and so far these are 2 stages, what happened next, if any, in relation to your investigation on the Vice President's statement?
We proceeded to the analysis and attribution phase.
Now, ano yung nangyari kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo, in this analysis and attribution phase?
In the analysis, we established the intent, the motive, the capability of the Vice President to carry out that which he mentioned, as well as we proceeded to identify the individuals present in that press conference, November 23, 2024, sir.
Okay, so sinabi mo, you proceeded to identify the different individuals in that meeting. Publiko na now interested. So, what happened? What happened pagkatapos niyong mag-proceed sa pag-identify sino ba yung nasa video na yan?
First, we have identified media personalities from Philippine Daily Inquirer, from the Manila Times, from the Reuters, SMNI, etc. And then we have also identified the Vice President herself, who in her presence, openly and publicly, admitted that she had already contracted a person who killed the President, Luisa Marcos, and the former Speaker of the House, and instructed the person to be relentless in killing the three. And it was streamed through the Facebook page again of Harry Roque, Your Honor.
You said to be relentless in the killing. Okay, now, after finding out that indeed the Vice President, other than to be relentless in the killing, what happened next in relation to the investigation of the
We continue the open source investigation to determine if there were utterances made by the Vice President in previous dates, Your Honor.
Now, ano ba yung naging resulta kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo, sa naging open source investigation ng NBI into sinasabi mong mga previous statements ng Vice President?
We have found a press conference dated October 18, 2024, streamed through the official Facebook page of the Office of the Vice President. And we were able to identify, for us, being the investigator, at least 3 material lines or utterances made by the Vice President, sir.
Okay, so you said in that press conference, sinabi mo you found 3 utterances or statements ng Vice President. Okay,
Among others, sir, yeah.
among others. So let's focus on these 3. Ano ba yung 3 statements sinasabi mo?
Well, the first one, the Vice President uttered, gusto kong tanggalin yung ulo niya ba? And then the second one, the Vice President uttered, I realized toxic na itong relationship, referring to the relationship between the Vice President and the President. And then number 3, I imagine myself cutting his head.
Okay now, recap, sinabi mo gusto kong tanggalin yung ulo niya. And then sinabi mo rin sa third, I imagine cutting his head. Based on your investigation, Attorney Lotto, kaninong ulo ba yung refer ng Vice President na gusto niyang tanggalin?
The President of the Republic of the Philippines, sir.
Yung ulo ng Presidente ng Republika ng Pilipinas.
Opo.
What proof, if any, do you have? What the Vice President said this.
We have that video, Your Honor, dated October 18, 2024.
Now, kung maalala mo, Mr. Witness, saang portion ng video na yan maririnig yung President, yung Vice President, sinasabi yung gusto kong tanggalin yung ulo niya, imagine myself cutting his head.
Your Honor, if I may refer to my notes.
Your Honor, I move that.
Witness may do so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, counsel for respondent may observe as the witness peruses his notes.
Alright, may we also be allowed to do the same?
Similar order with respect to the counsel for the prosecutor.
Your Honor, from timestamps 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 57 seconds to 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 10 seconds. And then 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 52 seconds. And then 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 58 seconds.
Okay, so far, Your Honor, for the record, the two timestamps. So question, if those portions, okay, are shown to you, answer Your Honor, please. The video has already been identified, marked and identified by our previous witness, and it is marked as Exhibit B dash Roman numeral 4 dash loud.
So after the unsealing, counsel for the prosecutor and for the counsel for the prosecutor and for the respondent are instructed to kindly accompany each other to the tech booth to make sure it is the same, one of the same USB that will be played.
Saka dapat po yan, ma'am, sir, Tagalog para lahat buong Pilipinas maintindihan. Hindi yung puro English sila, puro English. Oo.
Pero
kasama yung ano nila. Kasama.
Alam mo kung sa ano? Kung sa hapon yan, wala kang marinig din. Hapon yan. Dahil na sa Kastila, wala kang marinig.
May bala kayong buksan ulit, huwag nyo na masyadong itim na madami. Para hindi masyado matagal pag iyan sila.
Ganda mo Tagalog para natindihan lahat. Alam mo kaya minsan yan ay kinatatalo nga ang ano.
Kakanan po tayo, ano?
Punta sa ano.
Tira.
Ha?
Tapos na tayo.
Ha?
Minsan hindi naintindihan.
Dito na tayo.
For the record, this will be timestamps. 1
Kakaliwa?
hour, 35 minutes to 57 seconds, 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 10 seconds for the first timestamp. For the first portion, the second portion is from 1 hour, 36 minutes to 52 seconds to 1 hour, 36 minutes and 58 seconds.
Tsaka maulan, tatapos na tayo. Hindi, kakanan tapos kakaliwa.
Bawal po mag-U-turn dyan.
Dito tayo. Diyan tayo.
Hindi ka na pwede magtiwala sa panahon ngayon. Ganito lang may dyan ako marami. Oo. Pag hindi, basa ka.
Diyan, sigurado. Ikot po tayo yan.
Hindi ka pwede. Sinabi naman, napakagad na ito. Bigat kasi dito.
I realized toxic na yung relationship.
There's one more council, right?
Yes, Your Honor. Waiting for the second video. Consisting of 6 seconds only, Your Honor, please.
Imagine myself cutting his head.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Honor, please. May proceed, Your Honor, please.
Council may proceed.
Mr. Witness, what relation, if any, do those videos have, portions of the videos have with the video you mentioned earlier?
That's the same video I mentioned, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's proceed. Attorney Lotog now. After you discovered these previous statements by the Vice President, what happened next, if any, in relation to the investigation you conducted on the Vice President's statements on November 23, 2024?
Yes, Your Honor. We have also discovered reactions from the recipients, specifically from the President himself, the Speaker of the House, relevant government agencies tasked to secure the life of the President and the national security.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Thank you so much. You know, Mr. Witness, let's focus on the President kasi it's his head. Puro ng Presidente yung gustong tanggalin ng Vice President. Let's focus on the President. Now, what did he say again in particular?
If I may refer to my notes, sir.
Your Honor,
You may do so.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's proceed.
Sir, diretso lang. Okay. Yan. Sige ba? Sige ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Among others, quote, nakakabahala ang mga pahayag na narinig natin itong mga nakarang araw.
Thank you, Sara.
Nandyan ang walang kapuntangang pagmura at ang pagbabanta ng planong papatay ang ilan sa atin. Kung gano'n nilang kadali ang pagplano sa pagpatay ng isang presidente, paano ba kaya ang mga pangkaraniwan na mamamayan? Yang ganyang kriminal na pagtatangka ay hindi dapat pinalalampas. Yan ay aking papatagan.
now, thank you so much. Okay. Reloto, you said that the former Speaker of the House of Representatives also gave yung tungkol niya sa naging mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente laban sa buhay. Could you just summarize exactly ano ba yung tungkol ng former Speaker ng House of Representatives?
Yan, diretso.
Yes, Your Honor, if I remember it right, I think the Speaker issued a statement during the plenary session on November 25, 2024, which was released. And among others, the first Speaker stated that utterances dangerous sa itong banta, sa demokrasya, at sa seguridad bansa.
Alright, now, Mr. Witness, ano niluto tungkol sa mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente? Ano mga ehensya na ito?
Sa National Communications Office, National Press Conference by Vice President, Philippine National Police threats any threat to the safety and security of the President, and all the officials, the Vice President Sara Duterte's recent statement makes directly reference an assassin contracted to target the President. The BNP recognizes the grave nature of this matter. The safety of the President is a national concern, and any direct or indirect threat to his life must be addressed with the highest level of urgency. Close. Unquote. Hindi ko na binasa lahat.
No, ano niluto now? The PNP used, based on your statement as the response of the PNP, the PNP used the term assassin in referring to the person contracted by the Vice President to kill the President and two others.
Alright, it's not just the PNP, the National Communications Office. Again, Your Honor, if I may refer to my notes.
Your Honor, may the witness be allowed to reproduce notes once more?
You may do so, Mr. Witness.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Friends, what is the pleasure of Attorney Counsel for Respondent Attorney Season?
Would you state an observation on the
Your Honor, I think
Counsel, we agreed
recognize first.
only one counsel shall speak insofar as the presentation of a witness is concerned. This was objected to by the counsel for respondents, even if it was asked for by the counsel for the prosecutors.
Your Honor, for the record, we are not objecting, but for a properly proceeding, this is
Counsel, it's okay. The chair will make a ruling. Attorney Vinluan can handle that with your permission, Attorney Season.
Your Honor, I'd just like to share the observation that the witness is reading from notes, from his notes and not directly from
Paglaw sa labas, Tapos may
document that he identified. And Your Honor, we just want to put it further.
There being no objections, witness may proceed in answer, or counsel may proceed with his questions.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines, ano sinabi ng Armed Forces? Are we done? Yeah. Okay, so, go back.
Yeah, if I may.
Yes.
Witness may continue to answer.
Thank you, Your Honor. On November 23, 2024, General Romeo is Browner, Chief of Staff, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, issued following statements. Quote, the Armed Forces of the Philippines is a professional organization focused on its mandate to protect the people and the state. Our personnel are loyal to the Constitution and the chain of command. Unquote. Hindi ko na po binasa lahat.
Okay, now, after you and your team discovered these responses, Attorney Lotto, what happened next, if any, kung meron man, tsaka kung alam mo, in relation sa investigation nyo, sa mga statements ng Vice President on that day, November 23, 2024?
We issued subpoena to the media personalities present during the online press conference on November 23, 2024. Sir,
What?
for them to appear on December 4th, 2024. Sir.
You issued a subpoena to the media personalities that you said anoon sa media conference na yun to appear on December 4, 2024. Now, sino ba yung mga media personalities na pinasubpoena ng NBI?
Again, Your Honor, if I may verify.
You may do so, Mr.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, the late Deputy Sergeant Reyes of the Philippine Daily Inquirer, and then Red Gore, Marky J. Mendoza of the Manila Times, Bons Magsambol of Rappler, Ana Rosario Malindupuy of the Manila Times, Jason Rodrigo of the SMNI, and Mikael Flores of the Reuters.
Okay, now, Mr. Witness, yung tanong now is, ba't kailangan isabina ng NBI itong mga media personalities na ito na mag-appear sa NBI sa araw na ito, December 4, 2024?
Your Honor, they were there during the online press con, and they participated the press conference. So, ang tingin namin, meron silang personal knowledge kasi nandun sila, mag-participate po sila. Kaya, we did it proper to issue subpoena on them.
Now, so you said they were subpoenaed to appear on December 4, 2024 in the NBI. Now, what happened on that day, December 4, 2024, if any, and if you know, in relation to the investigation you conducted?
The original case reported to me that Mr. Reyes, I think Mr. Magsam, appeared before the Office of the Cybercrime Commission and participated in the process of the interview.
Now, how do you know? How do you know that these two individuals, at least si Dempsey Reyes, again, may his sole residence, and Magsambol appeared before the NBI on that day, December 4, 2024?
Yes, Your Honor, aside from the fact that the agent of case reported that to me, he showed me the minutes of meeting, where he signatures, relate Mr. Reyes fixed. May naka-get pa po sila doon sa minutes of meeting.
Alright, now, thank you so much, Attorney Lotto. Now, Attorney Lotto, you said that your team interviewed members of the media. You issued subpoena to them and they appeared. Now, what else happened, if any, in relation to the investigation you conducted?
We issued subpoena at Testificando to the Vice President herself to shed light in the investigation we are conducting. Sir?
So you're telling the public that you, NBI, also issued a subpoena to the Vice President?
Yes, Your Honor.
Answered, Your Honor.
Okay, now, proceed, Your Honor. Now, what proof, if any, do you have that in fact the NBI issued a subpoena addressed to the Vice President?
We have a copy of that subpoena that Testificando dated November 25, 2024. Sir.
Now, kung yung subpoena na binigay ng NBI sa Vice Presidente may petsang Nobyembre 25 taong 2024, ipapakita sa iyo. Kikilala mo yung 2024. That
Counsel for the
is,
parties are authorized to approach and
so
view the
much.
document.
for the record, this is previously marked as Exhibit B dash Roman numeral 4 dash 4 for the prosecution. Have you perused the same, Attorney Lotto?
Yes, Your Honor.
Question, what relation, if any, does that document have with the subpoena you mentioned?
This is the same subpoena I mentioned. Sir.
Thank you so much. So the FBI issued subpoena to the Vice President.
Can we just make a comment?
Counsel for the respondents recognized.
Your Honor, maybe just put on the record that Exhibit B-4-4 is a photocopy and it was not, the original or the certified copy thereof was not produced.
We are ready to produce that. That's the next step we are supposed to do. The other,
Noted. Please proceed.
with a copy of the certified true copy, we invite the defense to check the same for comparison, Your Honor, please.
Counsel for the respondent.
Your Honor, it is a faithful reproduction of the certified true copy.
Noted for the records.
Proceed,
Counsel
Your
for the
Honor.
prosecutors may proceed.
Now, Mr. Witness, we would like to know how did the Vice President respond, if any, if at all, and if you know, to the LBI's subpoena issued?
When the Vice President didn't appear, instead she sent her lawyer, attorney, to come at this time.
Okay, she did not appear.
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay, now, question. If you know, what was the Vice President's reason for failing to appear at the NBI, in the NBI, despite the subpoena issued?
I think the Vice President, in fact, was saying there were office matters to tend to, so she cannot attend the scheduled meeting.
Office matters. Now, how did the respondent, the Vice President, inform you that she could not attend the subpoena because she was attending to quote office matters at court?
There was a letter, I think, dated November 2021, which was submitted by the Vice President.
So the letter, December 20, 2024. Now, kung yung kopya ng letter na yan ipapakita sa iyo, ma-identify mo ba yung letter na ito?
Opo.
Now, we're in the process of showing you a copy of the letter dated November 28, 2024.
Counsel for the prosecutor may approach, as well as counsel for the respondent.
Yes, Your Honor. This is the same letter that I mentioned.
Your Honor, can I make a manifestation of these points?
The prosecutor may proceed.
Your Honor, the letter from the Vice President's lawyer is not marked in exhibit. At this juncture, Your Honor, please, if the defense will agree, we move that the same be marked as an additional exhibit for the prosecution and the specific marking that we are in the court to follow is exhibit B dash Roman numeral 4 dash 32 for the prosecution, Your Honor, please.
Counsel for the respondent.
We have no objection to that, Your Honor.
So ordered. So marked.
Thank you so much. Now, so what did the... Your Honor, please. Your Honor, do we have to pause for the marking or do I proceed?
Please proceed, counsel.
Thank you so much, Your Honor, please. Thank you so much. Now, so what did the NBI do? Ano ginawa ng NBI after yung Vice Presidente invitation we got? Sa NBI, despite
deemed it proper to issue another subpoena to give the Vice President another time so she can prepare. At the same time, in reply to the letter submitted by the lawyer, we issued also a letter dated December 2024 because the Vice President in that letter from her lawyer was asking a copy of the complaint and the question to be propounded by the NBI to the Vice President.
Alright, now, let's go to that letter, Attorney Lotok na. Puntahan natin yung letter na yan. Now, kung alam mo, ano ba yung sinabi ng NBI sa letter na yan na pinadala sa Vice President after hindi siya sumipot despite the subpoena, Senator?
Your Honor, the document would speak for itself. No need for the witness to read.
I think the counsel...
Witness may answer if he knows.
Yeah, among others, sir, sinabi ko doon sa letter namin, December 2, 2024, na ini-inform namin ang Vice Presidente na iniimbestigahan din po namin yung alleged threat against sa kanyang life. At sinabi namin na kailangan namin yung kanyang presensya para may makuha kaming information, para kung may mapagsimulan kami doon sa investigation against threat to her life, Your Honor.
Now, what proof, if any, do you have that the NBI issued another subpoena addressed to the Vice President?
Yeah, we have that copy of the subpoena dated, if I'm not mistaken, December 2, 2024.
Sir na. Wait. Attorney Lotok, kung yung kopya ng pangalawang subpoena ipapakita sa iyo, ma-identify mo ba?
Yes, sir.
Now, we are now in the process of showing you that subpoena. The defense may check.
Counsel for the prosecutor as well as respond to the approach to compare.
And for the record, that second subpoena addressed to the Vice President has been previously marked as Exhibit B-Roman numeral 4-6 for the prosecution.
That's the same subpoena I mentioned, sir.
Okay, so that's the same subpoena. Do we have any observation from the defense?
Counsel for respondent.
The document is a machine copy, Your Honor.
Machine copy. We move that the certified copy in our possession be compared with the photocopy and witness records.
Counsel, this has not been marked, right?
This has been marked this time on the second.
This has been marked already.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same observation, Your Honor, as the last document.
Meaning it is a photocopy.
It is the same as the photocopy of. The copies are the same, but it is not the original. It is not the original. Just a photocopy of the original, Your Honor. That was certified.
Wait, sir.
I do not get it, Counsel.
Your Honor, the other document that the prosecution is showing is a certified copy, Your Honor. So in other words, it is the same as the photocopy that was previously marked.
But certified. Noted.
Now, you also mentioned that there is a letter. This time, it's dated December 2. Now, kung yung letter na yan ipapakita sa iyo, ma-identify mo ito.
Yes, sir.
Now, we are in the process of showing you a copy of that letter that is previously marked as Exhibit B-Roman numeral 4-5 with submarking B-Roman numeral 4-5 small letter A. May you peruse the same and answer the question after perusing the document, what relation, if any, does this document have with the one you mentioned?
Same document that I mentioned, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, Mr. Witness, sa pangalawang subpoena,
Your Honor, the document again is a photocopy, machine copy.
Your Honor, we move that the certified true copy that we have in possession be compared with the photocopy that is marked in exhibit for the prosecution orders.
Counsel for respondent is instructed to so view the certified true copy and make the corresponding manifestation of their observation.
Faithful reproduction of the certified copy.
Noted.
Thank you so much.
Counsel,
Proceed, Your Honor. Now, Attorney Lotto, ano ba yung naging tugon kung meron man tsaka kung alam mo ng Vice Presidente sa pangalawang subpoena na in-issue ng FBI?
Yes, Your Honor, the Vice President again did not appear, but instead sent her lawyer with another letter.
Another letter.
Yes, Your Honor, submitted to the Office of the Cybercrime.
Okay now, kung alam mo, ano ba yung nilalaman ng letra niyan, yung pangalawang letter ng Vice President in response to the second subpoena ng FBI?
If I remember it right, sinasabi doon we must take the obvious. The NBI is under the administrative supervision of Secretary of Justice, who is not ego. Executive Secretary is so, pinarapat daw niya sa kanyang counsel sa subpoena ng NBI.
Now, kung yung, what proof if any do you have of that letter?
We have a copy of that letter.
Kung yung kopya ng letter na yan ipapakita sa iyo, may identify mo ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we are showing you the copy of the letter dated December 10, 2024. The question after you peruse the same modulation, if any, does that document have with the letter you mentioned?
The same document that I mentioned.
Your Honor, manifestation, the same letter coming from the Vice President's counsel is not marked in exhibits by the prosecution. Same with the previous letter we moved, that the same with agreement from the defense counsel we marked as our exhibit B Roman numeral 4-33 for the prosecution. It is a photocopy of that letter, Your Honor.
What does counsel for the respondent say?
No objection to that. No objection. Thank you so much.
Noted. Kindly have it marked.
Your Honor, proceed. Now, Mr. Witness, what else, if any, did the letter state, if any?
Well, the counsel for the Vice President stated that the Vice President is confident that the NBI will also investigate the alleged threat against her life due to yung end of the letter. Ayun, sir.
Ito yung tanong now. You mentioned earlier that the Vice President stated that she already contracted an assassin, you, the President, and the two others. Now, Attorney Lotto, wait, not yet that, no question yet.
Please proceed, counsel.
As the head of the investigation team, what was your impression of the Vice President when she declared that she already contracted an assassin, killed President, First Lady, former Speaker of the House of Representatives? Objection, Your Honor. Those for opinion. You may cite the rule, Your Honor. Please, misleading as well, Your Honor. She never mentioned the word assassin. Your Honor, the term, may I reply to that, Your Honor, please?
Counsel for the
The term
prosecution is
assassin
recognized.
is a fiction. It is the same term. It's not plucked out of thin air, Your Honor, please. So we have basis for using the term assassin. But Your Honor, the counsel mentioned that it was VP Sara who mentioned it, and it was phrased in his answer. So we are objecting to that, Your Honor.
With the understanding that the witness will base his answer on his investigation or knowledge insofar as the investigation that he himself conducted and led is concerned, and not as a conclusion of fact and law. The witness may answer.
What was your impression?
Yes, Your Honor. To me, as the chief investigator at that time, the utterances made by the vice president was serious, and the threat was real and actual.
Mr. Witness, if I may intercede, counsel, is this contained in your investigation report?
Yes, sir.
You may proceed, counsel.
Seryoso tsaka totoong pagbabanta. Now, what made you say that? Na yung pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente ay both seryoso at totoo.
Well, Your Honor, we considered the content and context of the utterances made by the Vice President in November 23, 2024, as well as the utterances made by the Vice President in October 18, 2024, and the reactions from the recipients, as well as reactions from several government agencies, sir.
Content and context. Now, exactly, yung tanong is, exactly, how did you analyze the content and the context of the entire press conference?
We considered several factors, Your Honor, in the analysis of that content and context.
Several factors. To be exact, kung alam mo, ilang factors kinonsider nyo?
At least four.
At least four.
Your Honor, number one, the delivery or manner in which the utterances were spoken.
That's one.
Number two, the literal meaning of the statement, Your Honor. Number three, the nature of the instruction, and number four, the relationship between the parties. Sir.
So four factors. Now, let's go to the first factor. No? Let's go to the first factor. The delivery of the manner in which the threats were spoken. What made you say that the respondent was both serious and real when she uttered those threats? Extend your honor, culture and opinion. Your Honor, if I may.
Based on his investigation, counsel, he may testify as to that. Witness may answer.
Yes, Your Honor. The Vice President was furious.
Ayan, sige, pwede rin dito.
Could you repeat it? Furious and
Fuming mad.
fuming mad. Furious and fuming mad. Now, what made you say na yung Vice Presidente was both furious
Pag-usapan niyo.
and fumingly mad?
Well, nakita ko namin dun sa video, nung narat ko namin, if I'm not mistaken, I think more or less 8 beses po siya. Galit na galit, nagmumura at Presidente, si First Lady, si former Speaker of the House.
8 beses.
If I'm not mistaken, more or less.
Now, and then you're referring to the video now. In what particular portions of the video, okay, did the Vice President hurl invectives or sa Tagalog, magmumura kung sa Cebuano, pagmalikas, kung hawaray-waray, uyayaw. Mga ilang beses, ano? In what particular portions?
Your Honor, if I may refer to my notes. You may do so. Thank you.
In the interest of time, Your Please, while the councils are doing that, I move that the previously marked and identified Exhibit B-Roman numeral 4-10, which is the flash drive containing the video of that press conference, be unsealed in the presence of counsels from both sides.
You may proceed.
And then you may now answer, Mr. Witness, anong mga timestamps ba ito?
Yeah, Your Honor, from timestamp 53 minutes 27 seconds and 53 minutes 39 seconds.
So 53 minutes, 27 seconds to 53 minutes, 39 seconds. The second timestamp, if you may.
54 minutes 03 seconds and 54 minutes 08 seconds.
54 minutes, 03 seconds to 54 minutes, 08 seconds. That's the second timestamp. What about the next timestamp, if you know?
55 minutes, 42 seconds, and 56 minutes, 77 seconds.
55 minutes, 42 seconds to 56 minutes, 06 seconds. What about the fourth timestamp, if you know?
58 minutes to 38 seconds, up to 58 minutes to 47 seconds.
58 minutes, 38 seconds to 58 minutes, 47 seconds. What about the fifth timestamp, if you know?
1 hour, 02 minutes and 25 seconds. 1 hour, 02 minutes and 32 seconds.
1 hour, 02 minutes to 25 seconds to 1 hour, 02 minutes, 32 seconds. What about the next, the sixth timestamp, if you know?
1 hour, 05 minutes and 08 seconds. 1 hour, 05 minutes and 31 seconds.
1 hour, 05 minutes, 08 seconds to 1 hour, 05 minutes, 31 seconds. What about the last timestamp, Mr. Witness?
1 hour, 08 minutes and 43 seconds. And then 1 hour, 08 minutes and 54 seconds.
1 hour, 08 minutes, 43 seconds to 1 hour, 08 minutes, 54 seconds. Your Honor, we move that those 7 timestamps identified by the witness be shown in sequence on this.
So ordered. Counsel for the prosecutors will kindly give the flash drive to be unsealed by the witness, as witnessed by counsel for the respondents. Thereafter, for counsel of the parties to kindly accompany each other to the tech booth so that the USB may be played with respect to the specified timestamps of the witness.
Sino ang korap? Yung mga congressman na yan na
Dahil ang kailangan isang
keso taksil, keso korap, abusado, utang ina ninyo. Sino ang korap?
Okay na yun.
Itong ginagawa ko eh. Eh, putang ina, hindi mo pala gusto ginagawa mo eh. Bakit mo sinisira ang pangalan ko? Gawin suwa. He did not know what he was talking about. So incompetent. Where he was lying to his teeth to get the votes of people. Putang ina ninyong lahat. Martin Romualdez, Lisa Marcos, Bongbong Marcos. Martin Romualdez, Lisa Marcos, Bongbong Marcos.
I think we have two more.
Tapos kami yung nagsusungaling. Nagpipigil ako eh. Kasi gusto ko lang magtrabaho. Gusto ko lang tapusin yun na yung ng show ninyo saan sa House of Representatives para makabalik na kami.
I think we have two more.
Taklan ninyo.
I think that will be the last. Sorry, that will be the last.
Council, that's the 7 timestamps.
Let me confirm. Attorney Magallon. Okay, we have one more. We have two more, please. I was told we have two more times up, please. Thank you.
Martin, nangangampanya tayo. Nakasakay tayo sa aeroplano. Pagkatabi tayo. Nagre-reklamo ka, putang ina ka, walang pera. Kasi
And the last one.
maalis naman ako sa presidential race, hindi pa rin ikaw ang presidente. Tingin mo. Walang buboto sa iyo. Please lang. Wala.
So Your Honor, those were the 7 timestamps, portions of the video where the Vice President hurled invectives and profanities. Now the question is, may I proceed, Your Honor?
Counsel, to clarify, the Vice President hurled invectives, period, not necessarily against the 3 officials mentioned.
Most of them were against the 3 officials, Your Honor.
I only counted there were 1 or 2. Out of the 7, I heard Representative Chua is not one of the subject matters of this case. But just for the record, does the witness confirm that? Out of the 7 timestamps, there are approximately 2 or 3 that mention either all 3 or 1 of the top officials. Would that be correct, Mr. Witness?
I think more than that, sir, if you can see the context. If I'm not mistaken, I think 5 times referring to either Martin Romualdez, Lisa Marcos, the president.
The rest were either congressmen or a particular congressman.
If I'm not mistaken, sir.
Counsel, you may proceed.
Now, Mr. Witness, etong mga 7 timestamps, saan nagmumura yung Vice Presidente? Why is this a factor in classifying a threat as serious and
Yes, sir. Because we want to establish the intent of the Vice President, and that intent is crucial in our investigation. We want to determine whether those utterances made by the Vice President were just a product of a temporary fit of anger. Was it just spur of the moment? Or were they really serious, actual, and real threat?
what was your conclusion?
Your Honor.
So what was your conclusion? Was it serious, real?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Okay,
Serious and real.
let's go to factor number 2. So 2 out of 4 factors now. Sinabi mo yung literal meaning ng mga utterances ng Vice President. Take literal meaning. Why is this a factor in your conclusion na seryoso at totoo yung pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente?
Yes, Your Honor. Klaro po sa utterances ng Vice Presidente. Even before the online press conference, on November 23, 2024, the Vice President had already contracted in person. Gave the President, Lisa Marcos, and
So the public will understand. I want you to understand that. But mahalaga sa inyo, sa investigasyon na yung pagpukontrata ng tao na papatay sa pagkukulang nangyari ito bago pa man yung press conference. Ba't mahalaga sa investigasyon niya?
yes, Your Honor, mahalaga po yan para sa amin. Basically, it's indicative of intent that the utterances was deliberately made up by the Vice President, and it really shows serious actual real threat.
Correct now. Attorney Lotok, let's go to the third factor. Yung third factor is now sinasabi mo, yung nature ng instruction. Now, could you tell the public and the court, ano bang ibig sabihin ng factor number 3, nature of the instruction?
Yes, Your Honor. In those utterances, the Vice President said, wag kang tumigil hanggat hindi mo sila mapapatay. It shows persistence on the part of the Vice President, that she was determined to carry out those utterances. And from the point of view of law enforcement agency like the NBI, it's alarming for us.
It is alarming from the point of view of law enforcement agencies. Now, in Tagalog, if you may, ba't mo nasabing nakaka-alarma nakaka-alarma yung sinabi ng Vice Presidente na yung instruction na huwag kang titigil hanggat hindi mo napapatay Pangulo, unang ginang ng former Speaker ng House of Representatives. Ba't mahalaga? Ba't alarming yan?
Well, Your Honor, pwede hong mag-take advantage yung ibang grupo dyan, ibang individual. God forbid, may mangyari sa Presidente, for one reason or the other. Titrigger ho ngayon yung instruction. And then, papatayin ngayon yung, God forbid again, Presidente, Lisa Marcos, First Speaker. And, in fact, even yung triggering na phase na yon, pwedeng mag-take advantage doon yung ibang grupo, thinking na pag in-assassinate natin ang tatlo, ang sisisiin ng Vice Presidente. So, marami ho ang gulo, Your Honor, para sa amin, sa law enforcement. Medyo magiging disorder, magiging chaotic, magiging anarchy in society. Hindi siya na-address. Yun po yung sa amin as investigator, sir.
Question na, Jason leading your other speeches to that bill. Instead, okay, now, let's go to, let's proceed, Mr. So far, you mentioned, ito yung mga factor, the manner, literal meaning, nature of the instruction. Ano ba yung fourth factor kung alam mo?
The relationship between the parties, meaning the relationship between the Vice President and the President.
Now, what about the fourth factor? No? Why is it significant to investigation?
Well, in one of the utterances made by the Vice President, she characterizes the relationship with the President as toxic.
Toxic.
If I'm not mistaken, at least 3 times siya binigyan siya ng term toxic, referring to the relationship with her, the President.
Now, what were your reasons, if any, that made you nasabi na ng Vice President na toxic yung relationship between her and the President? Objection, calls for an opinion. Investigation.
Witness may answer part of his investigation.
Una, yung resignation niya as Secretary ng Department of Education. Pangalawa, yung utterances niya noong October 18, nung sinabi niya na I realized toxic na itong relationship. Gusto kong tanggalin yung niya ba? Then I imagine myself having it.
What else, if any?
The reaction of the recipient of those utterances, the reaction from the President himself.
So the reaction from the President himself. Now, you already mentioned kanina na yung reaction ng President. Yung tanong now, ito is, why did you consider yung reaction ng mga recipients ng pagbabanta, kagaya ng President? Let's focus on the President. Ba't nyo kinonsider yung reaction?
Well, we want to establish whether the recipient of those utterances felt intimidated by those statements, or did they serious and actual threat? Material ko sa amin, Your Honor, if only to establish the
mens rea ng krimen. Now, let's focus on the President. No, let's focus on the President. Ito yung premise now. Based on your investigation, no, what was your impression of the President based on his reaction? Was he intimidated?
Well, yung opening statement ng Presidente, ang sabi niya, nakakabahala ang mga narinig natin itong mga nakaraang araw. Ito yung isang kriminal na pagtatangka. Papalagan ko to. Yes, Your Honor. The President took the threat by the Vice President as serious and real.
Now, Mr. Witness, aside from yung reaction ng mga recipients, we focus on the President. Ano pa yung ibang mga factors na kinonsider kung meron pa man?
Yes, Your Honor. We find it, this is from the point of view of the investigator, we find it disturbing when we try to compare the utterances made in October 18 and the utterances made in November 23. May nakita ko kami doon. Tatlo nga pa. Medyo, sabi ko nga, disturbing from a point of view lang.
Disturbing. Tatlo or apat na disturbing na?
Yeah, utterances.
Utterances now. Let's go to that. So you said you compared the utterances in October 18 tsaka November 23. Sabi mo, you found at least 3 or 4 disturbing statements. Tama ba? Now, ano ba yung 3 statements nito?
Your Honor, we are trying to establish the patterns and the consistencies of those utterances. For instance, noong October 18, ang sabi niya is, walang number 1 ng Pilipinas para sa akin. Walang number 1. And then we compared it in November 23, ang sabi niya, reiterate niya, not recognized anybody. That's number 1. The number 2, ang sabi niya noong October 18, hindi marunong maging presidente yung nakaupo sa laman. And then we compared it in November 23, ang sabi niya doon, this country will go to hell because that person sitting, sabi niya, doesn't know how to be a president and is a liar.
Alright.
The number 3, ang sabi niya sa October 18, meron akong 5 impeachable offense na alam kay BBM pero papasa ba dyan sa House? Siyempre hindi. And kinumpare namin November 23, ang sabi niya doon is he was lying to his state para makuha lang yung boto ng mga tao at ito na siya, BI ka. Yan. Sa Marcos,
Thank you, my
putang ina.
Okay. You said that you found these 3 comparisons disturbing. Now, these 3, ano yung significance ng 3 comparisons nito sa investigation? Kung meron man.
Yes, Your Honor. Based on these patterns and consistency. It appears that these statements have tendency to steer up the people against the government, have tendency to disturb the peace of the community, have tendency to undermine the peace and order, the public peace and order in certain.
Now, Mr. Witness, given all these findings, sinabi mo, seryoso, tsaka totoo, yung mga pagbabanta ng Vice Presidente, ano ginawa ng division mo, kung meron man, in addition to the investigation?
We executed, Your Honor, affidavit of investigation. We recommended criminal charges, 3 counts for grave threats, and 1 count for inciting to sedition.
Your Honor, now, na-mention mo yung affidavit of investigation. For clarity, anong date ng affidavit of investigation na nasabi mo?
February 10,
February 10.
2025.
February 10. Kung yung affidavit of investigation and the annexes ipapakita sa iyo, ma-identify pa yung affidavit nito.
Yes, sir.
I'm showing you now a copy of the affidavit of investigation. May petsang February 10, 2025 that is previously marked for the prosecution as Exhibit B-Roman numeral 4-3. You peruse the documents and answers to that the defense be allowed to peruse the same. And the question is, what do these documents have? What relation, if any, do these documents have with the documents you mentioned?
Counsel for both parties may approach.
Manifestation, Your Honor.
Counsel for the respondent may proceed.
Your Honor, we just like to manifest, Your Honor, that the marked document, permanently marked by the prosecution, does not contain any annexes. And the other set of documents that he is comparing it has affidavit. annexes, Your Honor.
I can reply to that, Your Honor, please. If I
Counsel
may.
for the prosecution will please reply.
Number one, the affidavit of investigation, the annexes there, ay makikita yung mga annexes, most of them, as separate documents that have been pre-marked. Ulitin ko, yung mga hinahanap ng depensa ng mga annexes sa affidavit of investigation, nasa record ng Senado yan because na-marka separately because they have been identified separately also by the previous witness. I hope that satisfies.
Counsel, what does counsel for the respondent say?
Your Honor, is that an admission that the affidavit of investigation was stripped of its annexes?
Your Honor, if I may, klaro namang sinabi ko. Can I reply to that, Your Honor, please?
Sir would like to clarify the matter instead. Are all the annexes listed and identified in the footnotes of the affidavit of investigation marked or pre-marked by the prosecution?
I can answer that. Most of them, Your Honor, please, and I can identify ano yung mga hindi na marked sa yung piso.
So most, not all.
Yes, Your Honor, please.
And for the record, that the affidavit of investigation that the witness is identifying and that you have marked does not contain any of the annexes mentioned in the affidavit of investigation, without prejudice, of course, to the annexes
Yes.
that you already marked
Yes, Your Honor.
and identified by either this or other witnesses.
Yes, Your Honor. Not attached specifically to the affidavit, but found in the same record of the
Not attached to the document that the witness is identifying right now.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does that satisfy the counsel for
Your Honor, we're not objecting as to how they marked it. We're just manifesting it for the
That it's not
record.
there.
Yes. Yes.
So noted. Witness may answer.
Yeah, this is the same document, right?
Okay. Yeah, you have.
Your Honor, this is the same document that I mentioned.
Okay. We proceed, Your Honor, please.
You may proceed.
Now, Attorney Lotok, sorry.
Just to manifest, Your Honor,
Counsel for the respondent is recognized.
just to manifest, Your Honor, that again, the comparison, Your Honor, was made with the certified copy, not the original, Your Honor.
So noted.
Thank you so much.
Please proceed, counsel, for the prosecutor.
Attorney Lotok, sa pahinang 28 ng affidavit of investigation, may makikita ang pirma sa ibabaw ng pangalan S.A. Jeremy Lotok. Makikita mo ba yan? Yung tanong, kaninong pirma ito?
This is my information.
And sa pahinang 29 ng affidavit, may makikita ang pirma sa ibabaw ng pangalan S.A. Jeremy Lotok. Kaninong pirma ba ito?
Again, sa akin, pero ako ito, sir.
Your Honor, at this juncture, the prosecution manifests and moves that the same, the two, the witness be marked as Exhibit B, dash Roman numeral 4, dash 3, dash 1, dash first, and the other one B, dash Roman numeral 4, dash 3, dash 2. Reason is these signatures have not yet been marked in Exhibit 1, please. Objection is left, Your Honor. Thank you so much now. May proceed, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Attorney Loto, in paragraphs 202 tsaka 203 ng naging answer ng Vice President dated May 25, 2026 to the articles of impeachment, this document forms part of the record of these courts. Sinasabi ng Vice President na she was merely exercising her freedom of expression. Freedom of expression, sinabi niya. That's protected yung pagbabantaan. Are you aware of this defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Attorney Loto. As a lawyer, and as the head of the NBI Cybercrime Division, that's the basis, Your Honor. Do you agree with this?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for an opinion. This is not part of the investigation.
He's a lawyer, Your Honor.
So must call for an opinion that it's not part of their investigation, though. So, kindly reform your question. I know where you're getting it. Kindly reform your question.
Okay. Your Honor, you're aware of the defense.
Yes.
That there is a freedom of expression. Okay. In your investigation, did you consider this, if at all, and if any?
Objection, Your Honor.
Witness may answer.
Yes, of course, Your Honor. We consider that when we perform officials confined freedom of speech.
And what was your finding? That's the basis now. What was your finding?
Well, una, three reasons, Your Honor. Okay, una, when the second highest official of the land openly talking that she had the highest official of the land, the first foremost, and that she instructed the person to be relentless in killing them. We failed to see any amount of freedom of speech in that utterance, Your Honor. That's number one. Number two, we talk to ourselves. If we allow the argument that it is within the bounds of freedom of speech, if we allow that to become the norms of our society, then who would prevent anybody from doing the same to anyone? Pwede na pong sabihin, patayin si Senator ganito, pag ito nangyari, patayin mo si Congressman ganito, patayin mo si Justice ganito, so imagine, Your Honor, the anarchy that is going to bring to our country. And number three, Your Honor, as a lawyer and being in the law enforcement, freedom of speech protects lawful expression, but it does not protect utterances that satisfies the elements of a criminal offense, like this one.
Satisfies the elements of a criminal offense like this one. Ito yung tanong daw. Attorney Lotto, based on your finding, based on your affidavit of investigation, did the Vice President commit a crime?
Based on our
Objection, Your Honor, leading in calls for conclusion of law.
Based on his investigation, let the witness answer.
Sustained, but the presiding officer will ask the question. The witness. Based on your investigation, if was there enough basis to file a criminal complaint as you did for the crimes you charged the Vice President with? Prima facie evidence only, not as to whether or not she indeed committed it or not, because only a court of justice can determine.
Yes, Your Honor, based on our findings, we believe the Vice President committed the crime, great threats and inciting to sedition.
Only insofar as satisfying the requirement of prima facie evidence sufficient to file a case.
Prima facie evidence with reasonable certainty of conviction.
Yes, that would be a more complete description of what you have to comply with before you can file a case.
Yes, Your Honor, yes po.
Counsel may proceed.
Thank you so much. Let's continue. Attorney Lotok, kita magpapadayon in naton mga pag-iana nga naimo pagbaton in naton.
Your Honor,
What's your
may I
objection?
be allowed to make a manifestation? Your Honor, as I understand, only Filipino and English was
careful.
because I cannot understand, Your Honor, what he was saying. So can we just ask that he states his statement in Filipino or English?
Your Philippine language encompasses all the languages dialects. It includes our very own waray-waray.
Counsel Council, the rules state only Filipino and English, but I will let it go once in a while, but not each time.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
You may proceed, Counsel, for the prosecutors.
Now, you mentioned that the respondent's lawyer, Attorney Lim, through the letter said that the Vice President was confident in your office's assurance that the alleged threats to her were also being investigated. Malala mo sa yun doon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, what did the NBI do, if any, on the alleged threats? This time, sinasabi niya to her, to the Vice President, kung meron man.
Yes, Your Honor, we started the investigation on the alleged threat against the life of the Vice President.
You started. So, what was the result? If any, if at all, if you know, to that investigation?
Well, Your Honor, the fact that we issued the letter dated December 2 to inform the Vice President that we are investigating that alleged threat against life, that we want information, any information that will give us any investigative lead on that matter. Unfortunately, the Vice President did not appear. So wala ko kaming nakitang pagsisimulan na imbestigahan. Well, may nakita kami sa, I think, 75 PNP personnel so far as the security of the Vice President is concerned. The record sa news na inalis sa PPSPG. Then inilipat sa Manila.
Okay.
And I think the reason being is that may issue ng official security kaya mo nagkakamali. Medyo nakikita namin security issues.
So now, if you know, no? Ilan ba yung natira sa Vice Presidential Security and Protection? If you know. Pagkatapos ma-remove yung sinasabi mong 75 personnel of that VPSPG, if you know.
Well, based on, if I'm not mistaken, based on the record, COA record, I think more or less 335 security personnel. Hindi ako nagkakamali pa.
335 personnel protecting a single person, the Vice President?
Based on that record.
335. Last point, Your Honor, please.
Wind up, Counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Witness, you mentioned earlier that your office considered in its investigation in the November 23, 2024 online briefing na aside kay respondent yung Vice Presidente tsaka yung mga media personalities na sino pa kung meron pa yung nandun sa online briefing kayo kung ano?
Well, yung pinaka-unang part of the video si Attorney Zoraika.
Attorney Zoraika Lopez. Now, yung tanong, Mr. Witness, ano yung na-observe mo kung meron ba? Okay, about Attorney Zoraika Lopez during that online media briefing.
Ano?
Objection, Baker. Okay.
Witness is smart enough to answer if he knows. Witness may answer. Thank you.
Well, based on that video, it appears na si Zoraika ang referring to sa paglipat niya from national production facilities at then health issue niya yung nangyari sa kanya pag-health cost na isa.
Alright, now, Attorney Lotto, what significance, if any, do these complaints ni Attorney Lopez in your investigation on the threats made by the Vice President in that online media briefing?
Yes, Your Honor, we take that into account. Hindi na namin yung sitwasyon, yung issue ni Zoraika. But when we see the big picture prosecution, in all the cases that we have. Una, it has nothing to do with the Vice President contracting a person. Even before it was clear that video, the Vice President had already contracted a person to kill the President. Lisa Marcos and the former speaker. And then when we consider all the facts and circumstances, the instance where Attorney Salaico was complaining does not diminish, it does not alter, it does not affect the totality, the findings that we have in our investigation.
Senator Judge, is counsel for the prosecutors done? Attorney Ligodan, are you done?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're done? Before cross-examination, Chair would like to recognize, with the permission of Senator Judge JV, Senator Judge Bam Aquino had earlier sought recognition. Chair will recognize him first, thereafter Senator Judge Tulfo Erwin, thereafter Senator Judge Ejercito, and then Senator Judge Ontiveros. Senator Judge Aquino is recognized. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Yes, maraming salamat, Mr. Presiding Officer. Attorney Lotok, meron pa po bang ibang grupo sa NBI ang nag-imbestiga tungkol sa mga utterances ni Vice President Sara Duterte noong November 23, 2024?
During our time, so far as the cybercrime division is concerned, yung cybercrime division, Your Honor, and the team was yung binuo ni former judge, Director Judge.
So kayo lang po?
At that time, sir, hindi ko na po alam ngayon kung sino yung mga team kasi nalipat na po ako sa ibang regions.
Yung tanong ko po kasi ay nakatukoy dun sa taong nakausap o sinasabing na kontrata ni Vice President Sara Duterte para patayin yung Presidente, First Lady at former Speaker. So tinuloy niyo po ba yung investigasyon para mahanap ang tao na?
Well, aside from the fact, Your Honor, na nag-issue kami ng subpoena sa Vice President para kuha ng information, we need to validate the information. We need to confirm information. Kung in-issue namin ng subpoena yung mga media personalities, bawat isa sa kanila tinanong din po namin, nandun ka ba kung sinabi ito natin si Presidente?
Hindi ko po tinatanong kung sinabi ba ito o hindi. Dahil may witness rin po tayo nung nakarang linggo na nasabi nga ito at napanood naman tayo.
Opo.
Ang tanong ko, tinuloy niyo ba yung investigasyon para matuloy ang tao?
Nagtanong kami, Your Honor, we tried to elicit information both from those people who have personal knowledge with the online press conference. Unfortunately, wala ako kaming ma-establish na validated information. Confirm. So, in fact, hanggang ngayon, nag-aantay po kami. Hindi ko katulad dito sa nangyari, may apparent commission of the crime dahil nandiyan yung BQ.
Opo. So ang ibig niyo pong sabihin, bilang NBI, hindi niyo nahanap yung taong ito, pero literal niyo itong, sabi niyo, literal itong pag-assess niyo dun sa statement dahil ito mismo yung nasabi ng Vice President.
Well, Your Honor, if the second highest official of the land sinabi yan, it's hindi ho biro yan. Medyo pabigat ho yan. At yung pagkasabi pa niya na may kasamang galit at mga pagmumura. So, we took it very serious, Your Honor.
Alright, I have a question for the defense. Sa lahat ng mga sagot ninyo, Attorney Benuan, parang hindi ko nakita na tinanggi ng inyong kliyente o ng depensa na may nakausap ang Vice Presidente na tao para gawin yung mga bagay na ito. Tama ba? Wala ito sa mga sagot nito.
We deny that, Your Honor. That is not accurate, Your Honor, and we will present evidence or counter evidence.
Okay, so let me clarify. Sa lahat ng sagot ninyo so far, hindi pa nyo tinatanggi ito, pero in your time presenting evidence, you will deny that there was a person contracted by the Vice President.
Your Honor, to clarify, I don't understand, Your Honor, when we were asked, but
In your answer, You have an answer. There is an impeachment.
We denied it, Your Honor. We denied it in our answer, that which we filed before the Senate.
You denied it in your answer?
Correct.
If I remember correctly, ang nabanggit doon ay freedom of expression. Was there an exact statement there na hindi totoo na meron ngang kinontrata ang kinausap ang Vice Presidente para gawin ito?
We maintain our position that we denied it.
Okay.
It is there.
Check the official records and look for this because I don't remember seeing that in any of your answers, Mr.
Your Honor, all allegations were denied.
It's a general denial, a blanket denial.
There were, that was the general denial, and there were also specific denials.
Okay, we'll take a look, Mr. Presiding Officer. Hanapin natin to. And if I may come back to this once we take a look at the records, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Gentlemen, we do so at the appropriate time. With the permission of Senator Judge Arvintomo, since nakatayo na po si Senator Judge Ercito, ang papaunahin ko na po muna siya. Senator Judge Tulfo, Brother Ercito is recognized. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Tanong ko lang, just to clarify, we know if the NBI has the authority to issue subpoena against impeachable officials kasi kanina po, sa mga pinisan kanina, subpoena po ang pinadala sa Vice President instead of clarify ko na po.
Yes, sir. The NBI has authority to issue subpoena. And as a matter of fact, the case involving the Vice President falls under Section 5 of G, which the NBI has primary jurisdiction to undertake investigation, Your Honor.
Likewise, for the information everyone, we know what constitutes a grave threat that will probably be to conduct an investigation as compared to a light threat. What are the elements that are needed to be present to be considered a grave threat?
Well, for grave threat, Your Honor, if naalala ko siya, if a person threatens another person with the infliction upon the latter's person, property, honor, or that of the latter's family, with a wrong or with any wrong amounting to a crime, if that threat is with condition, without condition, or with involved with monetary consideration, yun po Your Honor yung kabuuan sa grave
So
threat.
yung grave threat po, may condition or walang
The
condition.
crime of grave threat, Your Honor, can be committed with or without condition.
With or without condition. So as an investigator, have you ever investigated, filed a complaint for grave threats apart from this one?
Again, Your Honor?
As an investigator, have you filed any case or investigated and filed a case for grave threats against anyone aside from this one, excluding this one?
I think me, kasi nag-start po kasi ako as counter-terrorism and then organized crime and then cybercrime. May being in the FBI.
So ito lamang ito pala yung kaso na imbestigahan concerning grave threats.
I think yung iba, may mga na-imbestiga, Your Honor. Again, sabi ko, sa sarili ko po, yung experience ko from counter-terrorism hanggang sa organized transnational crime group, sa cybercrime division. Naalala ko lang, Your Honor, kasi matagal na po yun eh. Ano yung nasa record. I think itong grave threats na po is pag hindi first time, doon ko lang na-experience.
Gaano katagal kayong parte nitong cybercrime division? Kayo nalipat?
Since 2018, Your Honor, nagsimula ako. 2022, I was designated as Chief of the Digital Forensic
appears kayo nandito sa Cybercrime Division.
Opo.
That's all, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Senator Judge. Senator Judge Tulfo Irwin is recognized. You have 2 minutes, sir. You may proceed when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. President, Presiding Officer. I'd like to direct my clarificatory question to the witness on the stand, Presiding Officer. Attorney Jeremy Lotto, what findings, if any, convince the NBI the motive of the respondent to kill the President and 2 other people? Meron po bang kayong nakitang motibo? Si Mari po sabihin lang nun sa tao, sobrang galit niya, napag-usapan na po kanina yan, di ba? Spur of the moment. Pero did you find any motive? Bakit niyo po gagawing patayin?
Yes, Your Honor. As I've said before, when we take into consideration all the facts and circumstances surrounding that issue, nagkaroon ng hindi magandang relasyon yung dalawa. Then, nagbato na ang Vice Presidente ng mga salitang mabibigat ng Vice Presidente. Pinapakita doon sa October 18 na toxic na nga yung relationship nila. Galit na galit si Sara dahil sinasabi ng Vice Presidente is politically motivated yung pag-attack sa kanya. And then at the same time, pinagtutulungan siya. Yeah, no. Then na-trigger ko yun. If my memory serves me right, incident nangyari 23 November 2024. So parang nagpatong-patong na ko siya. Issue. So nakita ko namin talagang galing sa Presidente.
Okay, so you saw that the Vice President did the investigation uncover any evidence, if there's any, responded to taking steps to carry out statements that she made in public, online, and did you have, or did you cover any evidence?
Your Honor, insofar as the Cybercrime Division is concerned, we focuses on the investigation on the alleged grave threats and cited to sedition. Ngayon, pagdating doon whether or not na-execute na o may inutusan, I think ang makakasagot po niyan, Your Honor, yung aming director kasi sa kanya po yung unang information. But at the same time, yung jurisdiction na yan, nasa intelligence service po namin. Kami ho nasa investigation. So far as the NBI, Cybercrime Division is concerned at that time, nag-focus ho kami sa great threat and cited to sedition. But so far as whether meron na bang engage si Presidente, jurisdiction po yan ng intelligence service. Maybe ang makakasagot yan yung ating director, siya po yung recipient na full information from the divisions and regions.
You mean citing sedition will be answered by the director, is that correct? Kasi parang hindi po natalakay kanina yung citing sedition. Is it?
Well, Your Honor, inciting to sedition, in our investigation, we were able to establish that those utterances from 18 October 2024, November 23, 2024, and other facts and circumstances, even in November 26, 2024, we believe that those utterances have a tendency to go against the government, have a tendency to disturb public peace, the peace of the community, and have a tendency to undermine public safety and public order. And I think that's evidence that we
Mr. Presiding Officer, so you're saying they're intertwined. Killing the president and then inciting the people to revolt against the government, they're intertwined. Is that what you're saying?
Based on our findings, Your Honor.
Based on your findings. And what could be the motive of the Vice President inciting people to sedition, to revolt against the government, when in fact she will be the next President of the Republic? She's been saying, and everybody knows, and she's been claiming. Why do you think? I mean, did you look deeper? Why incite the sedition? I mean, in fact, you're the Vice President. Usually, in our country, Mr. Witness, the Vice President of the presidency. What would be the motive?
Well, Your Honor, what we have established is the fact that the relationship between the two were ready to start. What we established is the fact that the Vice President has committed grave threats and citation. Yun ho yung focus namin. So far as yung mas malalim na dito, wala
All right. Well, I'm running out of time. Can you identify the strongest piece of evidence which you rely in deciding to file these cases before the Department of Justice? And what is the status of this case, Mr. Witness?
Well, Your Honor, the piece of evidence that we attached, we incorporated in our investigation is sufficient and has satisfied the requirements of the quantum of evidence required, which is 3 months of evidence based on conviction. And the fact, Your Honor, that the Department of Justice has issued certification stating that your referral, your transmittal, has complied all the elements of the crime charge and therefore good for preliminary investigation.
What is the status of the case, Mr. Witness?
It's ongoing, Your Honor. Tama ang naalala ko. It's ongoing, Your Honor.
One very, very quick question, Mr. Presiding
Wind up,
Officer.
Senator Judge.
So you...
Department of Justice would not issue a certification stating to the effect na kompleto ang evidence namin na wala ang requirement, ready na siya with preliminary investigation.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Senator Judge Tulfo. Senator Judge Antiveros, Senator Judge Villanueva, and thereafter we pause for a 10-minute break. You may proceed, ma'am. You have 2 minutes.
Salamat, Mr. Presiding Officer. Attorney Lotok,
Opo, yes, Your Honor.
sa Affidavit of Investigation dated February 10, 2025, nirekomenda ng NBI na sampahan ng mga kasong grave threats at inciting to sedition ang Vice Presidente. Pwede po bang idahilan sa mga kasong yan na nadala lang ng emosyon or may matinding trigger kaya nakapagsambit ng gano'n?
I don't think, Your Honor, kasi wala naman ho sa elements ng grave threats yung situation na yun. As long as we were able to satisfy the elements for grave threats, Your Honor, and when the Department of Justice certifies na kompleto yung elemento doon, so no, Your Honor, hindi ho yan mag-matter sa findings namin.
At yung sinabi po ninyong elements of grave threats, yun po yung 4 na in-enumerate nyo kanina. Ano po elements of grave threats?
Yes, Your Honor. Number 1, that a person threatened to inflict another person, person on the property and others. Family with any wrong, that's the first element. The second element, that wrong amounts to a crime. Then the third element is yung may demand for money or by condition imposed. In our investigation, meron kong tatlong acts para makamit yung rape threats. Kasi doon sa tatlong elements na sinabi ko, the offender have complied with the threat na sinabi niya. The offender hindi niya na-comply yung threat na sinabi niya, o yung pangatlong act, yung walang condition, yung threat na yon.
Mga 2 beses niyo po binanggit yung salitang kondisyon, Attorney Lotto. Itatanong ko yan mamaya-maya. Sa DOJ po, sa DOJ naman, may criteria ng reasonable certainty of conviction bago magsampa ng kaso. Sa NBI, yes, Attorney, sa NBI, ano naman po ang pamantayang sinusundan ninyo bago mag-rekomenda ng kaso?
Well, sinusunod din po namin yung quantum of evidence, prima facie evidence with reasonable certainty of conviction. Kaya ho, makikita nyo yung pong aming processes, yung phases, yung pang-last niya, legal evaluation. Meaning, meron na ho kaming conclusion po namin ito sa submit sa Court of Justice. Meron kong referral kami ginagawa sa legal commission. Nagpapatulong ko kami sa aming legal experts. Kung sila kung may evaluate, sila qualify kung satisfied with performance, pwede na siya justice for preliminary investigation.
Salamat, Attorney. So kahit pa paano, ina-approximate yung criteria na sinusundan ng DOJ kahit bilang NBI.
Yes, Your Honor. That is one basis of our cherished principle to build a good investigation, thoroughness, and legality.
Salamat po. Ito, in principle, kailangan po ba ng patunay na may kinontratang assassin para maituring na grave threats ang mga sinabi?
Well, Your Honor, in so far as the crime of rape threat is concerned, hindi po yung kailangan.
Speaking of condition, kanina na binanggit nyo 2 beses. Posible po ba ang grave threats kahit may kondisyon ang banta? Ibig sabihin yung kapag ito nangyari sa akin, ito ay mga gawin mo. Kahit may kondisyon yung banta, posible po ba ang grave threats?
Very much possible, Your Honor. As I have said, grave threats can be treated with condition. As a matter of fact, meron akong naalala ng isang case, SPO2 Jamaica versus Attorney Bangot. Ang sabi ko ni SPO2 Jamaica, if I lose my job, I will break your head, or I will. So it's for us, it's kind of event-based condition na matitrigger yung execution ng threat pag nangyari yung event. But then when the Supreme Court decided the Supreme Court the threat was absolute. So it's absolute yung threat.
Okay.
Hindi conditional. So parang ganito akin sa situation dito, meron siyang sort of event-based condition. Kapag nangyari yung event, nati-trigger na yung threat na inatter ng offender.
Masasabi pong may jurisprudence dahil may nakikita kayong pagkakalikulan sa kasong ni-rule ng SC na PO2 Jamaica at ito kay Vice President.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. Huling tanong na lang po, Attorney Lotto. Bilang abogado po, as a general rule, kailan po masasabi lampas sa free speech ang pananalita at nagiging grave threats o inciting to sedition na?
Well, we consider the two tests. Number one, hindi ko mabigkas yung but it's like if I may, Your Honor, just to refer my notes.
May he, presiding officer.
Witness may do so.
Yeah.
Kindly turn on the mic. Witness may do so, yes.
Thank you po, Your Honor. consider, Your Honor, the clear and present danger rule and the dangerous tendency rule. But among the two, ang nakita ko namin yung the dangerous tendency rule, meaning if the speech would have a tendency to create chaos or to create illegal acts, then that should be restricted. Pag may tendency, magiging kanon ang resulta.
So, huli po, attorney, masasabi bang may parang spectrum pwedeng nagsisimula sa free speech pero pag lumalapit na dun sa dangerous tendency rule ay maaari na talagang tumawid sa hindi grave threats o insight?
Yes, Your Honor. Pwede ko.
Maraming salamat po, Attorney Lotto. Salamat po, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you, noted and entered into the record. Senator Judge Villanueva, you have 2 minutes, sir. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Senate President, Presiding Officer. Just a few questions to our witness. Mr. Witness, it's been mentioned several times the importance of your investigation that it falls under prima facie evidence or reasonable certainty of conviction. And nabanggit niyo po na fulfilled po lahat yan. Kaya ho siguro nagkaroon ng first report at second report. Is that correct?
Yes.
And can you just for the record give us an idea, ano yung mga boxes that you have to fill in para pumasok po dito?
You mean, Your Honor, yung comment ng Department of Justice, Mr. President?
Yes, to make it clear na it's indeed goes dito sa, mapasok siya dun sa prima facie evidence with reasonable certainty.
Well, basically, Your Honor, yung requirements na binigay ng DOJ from our point of view were administrative requirement. Hindi ko yun yung sustansya ng affidavit. Kasi hindi ko natin yung affidavit natin yung correct. Ang nakita ko ng DOJ doon, yung affidavit, I think authentication na kailangan i-attach doon, and others, DSN. This is, from our point of view, to satisfy the requirements of admissibility, but it offers the substance.
So it didn't change as part of your fourth stage, no, yung legal evaluation. In that stage legal evaluation, no, was it considered, Mr. Witness, yung binabanggit ni Vice President and even some of the defense panel, no, na it is actually a conditional threat. And it appears that the Vice President during the presentation of the video is also getting threats.
Well, insofar as the threat against the life of the Vice President, the very reason why the Commission subpoena and we sent a letter for us to have the chance to talk to the Vice President and elicit some information. Baka meron siya unfortunately, hindi ko siya wala ko siyang may pinadalang representative para ibigay ng ID info lang na magbabalidate namin. Then, matitreat ko yung natin.
What part of your investigation did you pursue that?